What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance Season 9, Episode 13, the Emily and Kobe review. Kobe, my guy, you had one job. You had one job, and you royally screwed it up. So this episode starts off with Kobe talking about how he's still not over Emily buying her backup ring. He's still really hurt about that because it shows that Emily did not trust him. Huge red flag, but they're gonna ignore it, right? So now she's telling him, come with me to go run some errands for the wedding. She lies again, saying it's for the wedding. It's got nothing to do with the wedding. I don't know why she didn't tell him right then and there before they left the house what her concerns were, but she lies and says, let's go do run some errands for the wedding. So he doesn't understand why he has to go. He's like, why can't you just do it yourself? Whatever. So they end up leaving together. And on their way to the pharmacy, she tells him that her period is late. Not just a couple of days, but a couple of weeks. Now, for someone who probably has regular cycles, I'm assuming Emily has regular cycles, 2 weeks is a sign of a major problem, okay? It's not, it's a sign of a major problem. So they start doing this blame game. Okay. She blames him because she says, you didn't even want me to get on birth control. And he says, well, you said that you were using some type of a app on your phone to track your cycles, to let us know when it was safe, when it wasn't safe. I'm assuming he's referring to an ovulation app or an ovulation tracker app where you track your ovulation and you can figure out the app will tell you your fertile days and your non-fertile days, which is fine. That probably does work most of the time, but you're still taking a risk. You're still taking a chance. And also, these two people, I hate to say this because I am very much Team Kobe, but these two people are idiots. I don't think that they should have been depending on an app to avoid pregnancy. I think that they really should have been on some type of contraceptive, birth control, something. So she blames him because he told her not to take birth control. But girl, you don't have to listen. You're still your own individual person. If you didn't want to have a child and you felt like birth control was the best option, you should have just taken the damn birth control. You should have just explained to him, look, this is what I need to do because you still want to have a roof over your head, right? You don't want my dad to come after you, right? So let me just go ahead and take this birth control. Or, you can get some prophylactics and we can use those, but obviously he's not going to choose the prophylactics. He would rather just wing it on a prayer. So I feel like she still should have taken the birth control, even if he wasn't in agreement with that. If it's still her body, the decision that she has to make, and you have no idea if Kobe's even going to stick around. You have no idea. Do you want to be stuck with two kids by yourself? So just stupid all the way around, stupid as hell. So they get to the pharmacy. She wants to take the test in the pharmacy because she doesn't want to leave any evidence at her house and have the risk of someone finding it. So they take the test at the pharmacy. She takes two tests, and sure enough, both tests are positive. And now they're like, oh my God, they're all shocked and surprised and bewildered. Like, oh my God, how did this happen? Oh my God, oh my goodness. Stop. Stop with the foolishness. Stop with the dumb stuff. Just stop. Because you knew exactly the risk that you were taking. If you're not using birth control or if you're not using any type of preventative measures, and I'm not talking about, the rhythm cycle. I'm not talking about the rhythm method, whatever they call it. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about using some type of a device, okay? Using some type of medication to stop pregnancy, to prevent pregnancy. If you're not doing that, you're just running a risk of becoming pregnant, a very high risk of becoming pregnant. These people must have been absent in health class or in biology when they were talking about reproduction. I mean, they must have been completely absent. So now they're like all worried because the father wanted them to do just one thing, to be able to live in that house rent free. Don't get pregnant again. That's the only thing that old man asked them to do. Just don't get pregnant again. You can have all the fun you want to have, do whatever you want to do, but please just don't get pregnant again. And you can do what you want to do without making a baby every single time. These two idiots, these two numbnuts couldn't even keep up with that. They couldn't even do that one thing. I mean, and Kobe, I really put most of the blame on you because you have the most to lose, my guy. You have the most to lose. Emily is the favored princess in that house. She can do no wrong. Her parents are going to, cuddle her. They're going she all she has to do is work her parents, bat her little eyelashes, make her little pouty face, and all is good. That's all she has to do, and all is forgiven. You, on the other hand, it's a whole different story. Okay? It's a completely different story. Your relationship with her parents is already on extremely thin ice. Her father and her mother are constantly looking at you side-eyed, sideways, constantly. They don't trust you as far as they can throw you, Kobe, and you know this. You know that these people don't see it for you. They're waiting for you to mess up so they can have an excuse to convince their daughter to send you back to Cameroon. They're just waiting for that. And you go and you mess it up like this, and you can't work. You have no ability to work because at least, if she got pregnant again, maybe you could hurry up, get a job, try to make a whole bunch of money in a short amount of time and get y'all out of that house. But you can't even do that. You can't even do that. Now you're stuck in this house with the people that cannot stand you, and you got their daughter pregnant for a second time. Absolutely insane, Kobe. Insane. I was like, I'm not understanding how these people operate. Like, I'm really not understanding how they operate. So then he asks her while they're still in the pharmacy, he asks her, so, when are you going to tell your parents? And she's like, I'm not telling my parents. And he was like, well, how long do you think you can keep this from them? And she says, well, I won't tell them until I start showing. So on top of making your parents angry, you want your parents to also feel like idiots, that, you deceive them for however many months, however long it's going to take for you to show, that you're going to be deceiving them. They're just walking around like idiots thinking that you and Kobe are doing the right thing. And this whole entire time, you're walking around with a baby in your stomach, and they are none the wiser about it. And you think this is okay. Emily, you're so, Kobe, the number of red flags that have popped up in this relationship, I've lost count. And you're still going through with this. And you haven't even been there that long. You haven't even been there a full 3 months. And look at all the drama you've been involved in, all the up and down crap that you've been involved in. So she doesn't want to tell her parents. She makes him promise not to tell her parents. Kobe has a sense of morality about him. He has a sense of honor. So he doesn't feel right about not telling her parents, not letting her parents know. And if I was Kobe, I would want to just get it out of the way. Let's just tell them, let's get this out of the way, and we'll work out whatever we need to work out, as later. But I would not be able to live with those two people, her mom and her dad. I would not be able to live in their home and not tell them something as major as this. I just couldn't do it. I would just want to just tell them, let them yell, scream, cuss me out, do whatever they want. Let's just get that all out of the way, and then we can figure out how we're going to fix this problem. But he's going to be an idiot, and he's going to follow her lead, which probably led him to this. He's going to follow her lead and not say anything to her parents. So then she asks him, well, how do you feel about it? How do you feel? And he was like, I'm really worried about what your parents are going to say, blah, blah, blah. He's like concerned about her parents. And she's like, no, I'm talking about, are you even happy? Are you even happy about this? How could he be happy about this? He got you pregnant. He has no job. So he's going to have 2 kids with no job. 2 kids, 0 job, 0 income. How could he be happy about this? Living in your parents' house, your father, your strict, like your super duper strict dad. What is there to be happy about, Emily? So she's upset that he's not happy about this, which makes me wonder, did she actually plan this? Because she was the one that was keeping track of her ovulation, supposedly, allegedly. Who knows? She was probably keeping track of her ovulation to try to get pregnant, because I don't understand how he could be happy about this, and how you could even ask him if he's happy about this. And so she was like, well, I don't know why he's so upset about it, because it takes 2 to tango. I guess she kind of felt like maybe he was putting some of the blame on her or something. I don't know. She says, well, it takes 2 to tango. I didn't make this baby by myself. She says this in her confessional. But if he was depending on you to track your ovulation, even though that was a very that's not a very, we already talked about that. It's not a very secure way to prevent pregnancy because it's so easy to make a mistake and to misread your date or whatever. So, but he was depending on you, Emily, to track your ovulation. So he thought that you knew what you were doing. Evidently, you have no idea what you were doing. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. That the whole thing is stupid. If you don't want to have a baby, get on birth control. Um, Use some prophylactics. Do something. Don't just depend on counting your cycle, counting your days, using an app. Don't depend on dumb stuff like that. Do something proactive to try to prevent. Anyways, I feel like I'm repeating myself. So, I don't know how this is going to go when they finally tell her parents. Um, I've just, it's just so stupid. So stupid. They only have this one thing to do, and they couldn't even do that. The two of them together. You know, these two people with functioning brains couldn't even do that. Anyways, that is my review of Emily and Kobe. Thank you so much for joining me. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, please subscribe, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.